morning Year 6 and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson. So today our WALT is to find percentages of amounts. It is very similar to the work we did yesterday, just a little bit trickier. So the first question, what is 1% of 400? So we think about percentages again. So we're going to think about the 100 square that I showed you on Monday, and this is what 1% looks like. There's 100 squares there, that's 100%. So 100% of 400 will be 400, but we just want 1% of that. So I've just coloured in one square there, and that shows what 1% is. So to find 1%, what we need to do is we need to divide it by 100. And the reason we divide it by 100 is because there's 100 of those one squares there. So to find 1%, we would divide by 100. So 1% of 400, well, 400 divided by 100 is 4. So that's 1%. Let's have a look at this one. 3%. So this is saying 3% of 400. This is what 3% looks like. We've got the 100 square there to show what the full amount looks like, 100%. We've got 3 little boxes coloured in. So to find 3%, we would first of all find 1%. By dividing by 100. So 1% of 400 is 4. But I don't want 1%, I want 3%. So I times it by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So then I times 4 by 3, which is 12. And that's the answer that I want there, the 3%. So 3% of 400 is 12. Let's have a look at this one. 46% of 40. Now don't be put off by the question because we can use what we've already learned. So to start with, I'm going to find 10%. To find 10%, we divide by 10 because there's 10 lots of 10 in 100. So 10% of 40 equals 4. But I don't want 10%, I want 40%. So what have I done to get from 10% to 40%? Well, I've times that by 4. So that means I times this by 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. That's still not the answer yet because I want 46%. So to find that 6%, I'm first of all going to find 1%. And I've just learned that to find 1%, I need to divide the number by 100. So 40 divided by 100, well, divided by 10 is 4, divided by 10 again is 0.4. But I don't want 1%, I want 6%. So like I did in the example before, to get from 1% to 6%, I've times it by 6. So I need to times this by 6 as well. So you might just do a little jotting down here. 0.4 times 6. So I want 6 lots of 0.4. Decimal point in, 6 times 4, 6, 12, 18, 24, 4 there, a little 2 there, 6 times nothing is nothing, add 2 is 2.4. You might have just known that, but if not, you can show you working out there. Right, so I've done all my calculations now. Which ones do I put for the answer? Well, I want 46%, so I want 40%. Which is here, so that's 16. And then I also want the 6%, which is here. So I really want 16 add 2.4, which I know 16 add 2 is 18, so it's going to be 18.4. So even though I've got quite a few different calculations there, I'm just picking out the ones I need, which is the 40% and the 6% there. 46% of 40 is 18.4. Let's have a look at the next one. 82% of 220. So let's start again. Let's do 10%. So 10% I divide it by 10. So 10% of 220 is 22. But I don't want 10%, I want 80%. 80%. And to get from 10% to 80%, I've times by 8. So I'm going to times this by 8. And again, you might just do your little working out over here. Don't try and do it in your head, because it'll literally take you 30 seconds to do your jottings. Remember what we've always told you. So 22 times 8. 8 times 2, 8, 16 is 16, so 6 there, a little 1 there. 8 times 2 is 16, and 1 is 17. So I can put 176 there. Is that the answer yet? No, because I want 2%. So to find 2%, I need to find 1% first. So 1%, I need to divide it by 100. So 220 divided by 100 would be 2.2. And then I actually want 2%. So now I can just double that 2.2 and I can get 4.4. Now some people get confused now about which bits they need to use. Well, let's have a look. We want 82%. So we don't need that 10% anymore. We just need this 80%, which is here. We need 176, that's 80%, and then we need the 2%, which is 4.4 there. I don't need to do a column addition for this because I know 176 had 4 is 180, and then I just add the 0.4 on, so that's 180.4. Next one, 31% of 20. So exactly the same as what we've just been doing. Let's start with 10%. 10% divided by 10, so 10% of 20 is 2. But I want 30%. So to get from 10% to 30%, I times by 3. So I need to times 2 by 3, which is 6. And then I want 1%. To find 1%, I divide by 100. So I've already got 10% is 2, so that means if I divide 20 by 100, I'd get 0.2. So look how important the jottings are in these kinds of questions. Right, let's pick out which bits I want. I want 31%, so I need 30%, which is there. And I need the 1%, which is there. So 6 at 0.2 is going to be 6.2. And that's your answer for that one. So very similar to what we did yesterday, just a few more steps involved. Let's have a look at this question here. Miss Ryan went shopping in the sales. Work out how much she paid for each item after the percentage discount. So Miss Ryan bought these things here. So if you know Miss Ryan well, you know she likes all these things in this list. This is the original price of the items, but luckily there's a sale on, and that's how much is off each item. So we've got to work out how much she actually paid for them. So this is going to help you for tomorrow's maths lesson as well, so we're getting a little bit in front. Let's have a look then. So a sketching book is £8.50 and she got 20% discount. So I need to work out 10% first. Do my jottings underneath here. So 10% of £8.50 is 85p. So this is what we did yesterday. So all links together, 85p, sorry. But it's not 10% discount, it's 20% discount. So it's 20%. So I need to double 85p. I need to do 85p, add 85p. I might do a little jotting here. 85p. So you can either times it by 2 or you can do 85p at 85p. Decimal point in, 2 times 5 is 10, 0 there, 1 there. 2 times 8 is 16 and 1 is 17, 1 there. 2 times nothing and 1 is £1.70. Right, now this is where lots of people have gone wrong in the past. So we have just worked out 20% of £8.50 and we've got £1.70. Do not write £1.70 there because that is not the price she's paid. That's how much she's got off the original price. So now we need to do a subtraction calculation. So we now need to do £8.50, take away £1.70 because that's the discount, so we need to take it from the original price. Decimal point in, nothing take away nothing is nothing. 50p take away 70p. Be a negative, so cross the £8 out, put £7 there and move that over. So now we've got 15 take away 7, which is 8, 7 take away £1 is £6. So she's now paid £6.80 for her sketching book. £6.80. And remember what we said yesterday, you don't need your pen sign if you already got your pound sign. Right, let's do the next one. So I'm just rub my jottings off so I can keep it all on the same page. The next one, let's have a look. So she bought a Turkish delight Easter egg, and the original price was £16. It's quite a large egg. Now, because Easter's finished, it has 30% off it. So let's work out how much she actually paid. So I need to work out 10% of the original price. So 10% of £16, well, I need to divide it by 10. So that'll be £1.60. But she didn't get 10% off, she got 30% off. 30% there. And to get from 10% to 30%, I've times it by 3, so I need to times this by 3, so I might do a little jot in here. £1.60 times 3. Decimal point in. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18, 8 there, 1 there. 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 is 4. So 30% off is £4.80. Again, that answer doesn't go in there because the question is, what's the new price you paid? So now I need to do £16, take away £4.80. Well, if I take £16, take £4, that's going to be £12. And then if I take 80 pence off £12, that's going to be £11.20. Just going to write it down rather than show my working out, just to save time, but I would want you to show your working out. Just trying to save a little bit of time for you there so you can get started on your My Maths straight away. Right, the next one, running trainers. We all know Miss Ryan likes running. So the original price of running trainers was £80, and there was a discount of 25%. Now this one's a little bit easier than the other two because we know a quick way of finding 25%, and it's by halving it and halving it again. So half of 80 is 40, half of 40 is 20. She got £20 off the trainers. We're not going to write £20 in there because that's a discount she got, but the new price she paid, well, £80 take away £20 is £60. And you can put, you know, 0 pence if you want. Remember, you don't need to put your pen sign. So that one was quite easy, wasn't it? Right, and the last one, again, one of Miss Ryan's favourite things. We all know she likes the little party sausages. So she wanted a jumbo pack of these, and the original price was £6, and there was a discount of 15%. So let's work out how much she paid for them. Well, 10% of £6 is 60 pence. We did 15% yesterday, if you remember. And then 5%. Well, I know that 5 is half 10%, so I just need to halve 60 pence, which should give me 30 pence. So 15% is 60 pence or 30 pence, which is 90 pence. 90 pence. That doesn't go in the answer though, does it? Because that's how much discount she got. She got 90 pence off them. So £6 take away 90 pence. I could do that in my head, but if you're not sure, do your working out. I know that's £5.10. Okay, so what we've done there is we've looked at finding percentages of amounts in the first few questions, and then we've also looked at taking some percentages off. So we took 20% off, 30% off, 25% off, and 15% off. And that's actually getting a little bit in front for tomorrow's lesson. So your task is to work through the My Maths lesson. There's a little game at the end called, I think it's called Beat the Clock, so have a little go at that as well. Then complete your My Maths homework. Again, it's really, really important to use a pencil and paper to show you're working out on your jottings. And like we've been saying every day this week, try the homework several times to try and score 100%. Okay, off you go, everyone.